Hello and welcome to Estuary TV News with me, James Dunn. Tonight's show, it's our weekly paper review and our guest is Claire Phillips from Northern Lincolnshire and Goole NHS Trust. But first, here's Richard Morris with the news headlines.
Hello, in the headlines today, a local company in Hull is seeing the advantages of a trade deal with India and young people are being helped into jobs in our region. Humberston Library has become the first library in North East Lincolnshire to be saved from closure. Under plans announced by North East Lincolnshire's Cabinet last year, the council wanted to save up to £500,000 a year by shutting all but 4 core centres, and Humberston was one of the centres that was earmarked for closure. 2 groups submitted plans to run the library. One of them was a social enterprise being bankrolled by a wealthy individual, which has also submitted plans to take over Grand Thorold Library. The other was a group from Humberston Parish Council backed by NELC Ward Councillor for Humberston and New Waltham, John Fenty. The group affiliated with Humberston Parish Council, the Humberston Parish Council Library Group, won the bid. A statement issued by the group's main coordinators, Kathy Pearce and John Fenty, said they were ecstatic to win the bid with help from council members and that they have fought hard to keep this vital service open in Humberston and are happy we can keep and continue to improve this community service in Humberston. A Hull company has been praised by the Deputy Prime Minister for its work in increasing exports to India. Nick Clegg said that companies should take an example from companies like Chaucer Foods, who are flocking to take advantage of the retail sector in India, currently worth £309 billion, with growth set to hit 25% a year by 2016. Chaucer Foods' Hull factory makes 80% of the instant soup croutons in the world, supplying most major supermarkets and brands, including Heinz and Batchelors. They currently export around 200 tonnes of croutons to India every year and say that growth is steady.
Chaucer Foods has been looking to expand its business globally. There's been a number of new markets we've focused on, and India has been one of those. So in the last 3 years, we've been able to establish ourselves out there, with a number of customers. They take a lot of the British food styles and use them, perhaps with their own twists to it, and we're finding our products match what they want out there. Myself and my staff, we're out there a couple of times a year, so we think opportunities for us are okay, and we'll push for those.
Householders in North East Lincolnshire are being warned of cold callers in the area offering cheap boilers under the government's Green Deal. Recent reports have indicated that some people have paid £300 for the boiler and installation, when in reality that is the price of a completion for a Green Deal assessment on your property. Some unscrupulous traders may attempt high-pressure doorstop techniques, but residents are being encouraged to just say no. This week is Zero Waste Week and, as part of the drive, North East Lincolnshire Council is seeing it as an opportunity to reduce landfill waste and save money. The theme this year has been set as One More Thing, asking people to do one more thing to help the environment. There will be an exhibition trailer showing people in the area what things they can do to further reduce their waste and reuse what they already have. Tomorrow the trailer will be at Victoria Street near the pedestrianised fountains in Grimsby from 8 AM to 2:30 PM. An event held in Grimsby on Friday hopes to get young people in the right direction in their searches for jobs. The Your Next Step event was organised by Enfuse, which is a group of community development workers aged from 18 to 25. Young people were given help writing CVs and workshops were given in setting up your own social enterprise and how to excel at an interview. The main organiser of the event, Thomas Plaskett, explained more.
An event called Your Next Step, which is an interactive event for young people aged 16 to 25 to come and talk to employers, training providers and apprenticeship providers, just to get them into work really. We've got 20 different organisations here today, ranging from voluntary organisations to the renewable sector energy companies. Just to get more young people aware of what opportunities are out there and hopefully to get as many young people as possible into work. I would like, if I could change one person's life by getting them a job, then I'd be happy, but I haven't really set myself a target really, it's just people can get out of it what they want. There's me and my other teammate Sophie Wilson who have got won money from Starbucks to run this event, so we've just been running it in conjunction with each other and liaising with all the different organisations, as well as the young advisors who are supported by the local YPSS.
That's all from me for now, and we'll be back with more news soon. If you have any news for us in the meantime, then don't hesitate to contact us on Grimsby 01472 315561. Bye for now.
Thank you, Richard. Well, my guest today for the paper review is Claire Phillips. Claire's from the Northern Lincolnshire and Gaul NHS Trust, and she is the General Manager for Surgery and Critical Care. Claire, thank you very much for coming in today.
That's okay.
So you're the General Manager for Surgery and Critical Care, and that is Scunthorpe, Grimsby and Gaul hospitals.
That's right, yes. Yes.
Now, obviously we look at the stories of the week. What's caught your eye this week?
There was a few things in here. I think the first one that caught my eye was the Ice Bucket Challenge, which seems to be going crazy.
You
particularly
actually can't escape it, can you?
No, particularly on Facebook. I've got 11 and 13-year-old boys, and they've been petitioning me and the father to allow them to have a go at the Ice Bucket Challenge.
Have they succeeded yet?
I've said the weekend. We'll see whether the weather's warm enough. But there was a lovely story in the paper today.
That's the whole Daily Mail,
The whole
isn't
Daily
it?
Mail. Regarding a daughter and her father, and it's sort of explaining around why the Ice Bucket Challenge is important for the charity that they're raising it for, which is motor neuron disease.
And that story describes it perfectly. It
really does, yes. It's a fantastic story, really personable, and she's talking about how what happened to her father and how it affected the family, really.
Because he suffers from motor neuron disease, and the paper's run a campaign to get the best story, and obviously they've chosen not the one with the most incredible video, perhaps, but it's all about her and her father when she did it.
It is, and I think what it's done is such a disease that hasn't really had such a high profile to have reached where it's got to because of social media has been amazing. And I think it's 2 million in the UK.
Well, way over. I mean, last time I looked, it was 2.4, I think. But I mean, and it's going and going, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
And it's a craze that swept the hospital as well. Staff among the hospital.
There is staff that's doing it. There's families that are also talking about it as they're coming in.
Everyone's doing
everybody.
it.
Everybody's
It's
doing
everywhere.
the Ice Bucket Challenge.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a brilliant story, and I'm sure it'll go on, and I'm sure they'll raise lots more money. We hope so anyway. So what else have we seen in the news this week?
There was also a story, and this one was in the Cleethorpes Chronicle, and it was regarding an 8-year-old girl called Lily who's launching a bike helmet campaign following an accident at a local park where she fell off a bike and injured her face, really.
Was she wearing a helmet at the time, Dina?
It says here that it was the first time that she was allowed to cycle around the park on her own. And then she was taken to our local hospital, Grimsby Hospital.
But her parents won't be letting her go again.
It's not clear. Yes, she was wearing a helmet.
Yeah, she was.
And so she's launching a campaign to raise awareness for it. And this is something that I have with my sons as they're going out and about on their bikes.
So I was going to ask if it's because you work in the hospital that you picked up on this, but it's actually because you're a parent, is it?
It jumped out at me as a parent, really, but obviously in terms of accidents that we have in through the hospital, anything to help raise the awareness of the importance of wearing a helmet is going to be a good news story from a health point of view. But I know from being a parent the difficulties that it can be catching them as they're running out the door to get onto the bike and saying, "Where is your helmet?"
Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, no chance. But I mean, I suppose you are seeing it a little bit more now, and I suppose it's because of campaigns like this.
It is, and I mean, you know, when I was growing up, we didn't wear helmets.
No, same.
And when I first started wearing a helmet, it was awful because I thought, what do I look like?
Yeah.
But it's such a protection, much better that you've got a helmet on and you can take it off and not have the injuries that we see coming in that can be preventable, really, just by wearing a helmet.
And I suppose it's great that the tide probably is turning on that.
Yeah, I think as cycling's getting more and more popular, and there's been a huge amount this year, hasn't there, with the Tour de France, etc., and showing that everybody in helmets, I think that's only helping. So
definitely. Well, I'm going to get my helmet tonight now.
Good. Good.
So, I mean, there was another story that I did want to mention, and it's not in the papers that we've got here today, but it's one that it was a big radio story, and it was about a voice at Grimsby Hospital, and it's just outside the doors, and now when you walk out of the building, there'll be a voice that will warn you not to smoke just outside the doors of the hospital. What do you think? Have you heard this voice?
I have heard it, yes. I'd been on holiday, and then I come back, and I've heard it as I've been walking in.
Was it a shock?
No, and I didn't know it was coming, but it wasn't a shock. I heard it and I thought that's really good.
It's a good idea.
It's a really good idea. We do have a problem with smoking at the hospital. It's a non-smoking site.
Yeah.
But I do understand the problems that we have for those people that do smoke. Coming into hospital is a very stressful time. Being able to walk off the grounds is sometimes difficult for them. But on the same respect, you see people out there
with their drips, don't you?
You do. And on the same respect, for those that don't smoke, having to walk past the smell of the smoke, etc. And we are a hospital, and it's about promoting health as well. So yes, I've heard the voice, and I guess the repeated voice, if you were standing outside the hospital for a long period of time, would be quite annoying.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't be. You should be going in straight to while you're there and then coming out again. So it's a reminder, I guess.
So do you think it will make a difference, I suppose, is the key?
I suppose we'll have to wait and see. And I guess there will be some evaluations as to whether it has helped.
Yeah.
Certainly when we are asking people not to smoke, sometimes it can be really challenging for staff to approach somebody and ask them to not smoke. So this will help.
And I suppose the key to the argument is what you said, is that you are a hospital and you should promote health. So I suppose that's the tip of the iceberg, isn't it? So you should be. You think you should be doing that?
I do. Yeah. I do. Yeah, I support that.
That's great. And I think we might have time for one more.
Okay.
We've what else? What else have we got here?
I was looking at this one because there's quite a few bits in the papers this week around GCSEs, etc. But there was also this one around university.
And that's in the Grimsby Telegraph.
That's in the Grimsby Telegraph. Going to university is an exciting time, but this exciting time can often lead to untold burdens on your wallet.
Yeah.
And I saw that headline and I thought, I remember when I was a student and going away to university, so excited, and perhaps not budgeting as wisely in that first year, because seeing everything that you can do.
Now, of course, you've been to university, I've been to university, but things have changed a little bit. And I'd be interested to know, because you've got children. How old are your children at the moment?
They're 11 and 13.
And say hello to them.
Hello, Samuel and Alex.
But they're 11 and 13, so few years yet, but I suppose not that long, really. I mean,
No.
do you want them to go? I mean, how
I mean, my husband and I, yes, I wouldn't want to push them into anything, but we're certainly making provisions, small amounts, for if they do want to go to university. But there's also the trades, which I don't think a lot of people are going into at the moment, which is really important for the economy, I think, to be able to sustain that.
You won't be telling your boys university is the way. It's just an option.
It's a choice. Yeah, it's a choice.
Yeah, so it's interesting actually, because it has got more expensive over the years, and I think a lot more parents are now thinking, you know, we'll see what else is available. Yeah. Well, thank you very much for coming in today, Claire. It's been interesting to talk to you.
Thank you.
And I'm sure we'll see you again at some point.
Thank you very much.
Now, I'm afraid that's all the time we've got for today, but if you've got any stories for us, please get in touch by calling on Grimsby 315 561. Find us on Facebook or Twitter, or email us on info@estuary.tv. Well, thank you for watching. Bye for now.